King Zahard explained. This is the strongest active person in the tower that we know of to date. I'm going to explain to you his current state of affairs and some of his abilities and powers that he currently possesses and use at this time based off of what we already know from past chapters. But first, before I continue, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe and click that bell for notifications. All right, first things first. If you can't imagine how big the tower is, just picture the North America wrapped into a tower, basically. And you crumble it, you bring it together, then you compress it, and then you just, like Play-Doh, stretch it all the way out to a tower, and then you have your floors. Floor 1 through all the way through the 150th floor, 200th floor, who knows? We don't know how many floors there is truly in the tower because they haven't even mentioned it. All we know is what's hearsay and what's possibly been said by Sue. And I don't speak Korean, so I don't know if it's hearsay or not. So if you think about his empire and what he built, Zahard entered the tower with 12 other people. 11 of them only became family head leaders. 2 of them cease to exist as of now.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
One of the questions that begs is, how did Zahard create a system that allows him to keep these 11 family heads at bay? What is it that he offered them that keeps them so complacent that they can just pretty much sit back and be on autopilot? I'd be bored out of my brain if I'm immortal and I'm not doing anything besides sitting on the golden throne all day. Like, wow. There's got to be another reason, guys. But back to the story. So Zahard created this system where he allows everybody to bring in princess candidates with the promise of them being married if and only if they can collect the 13-month series, the weapons, of course. However, we know that that's pretty much impossible, and based off of what happened in the past with Garm and the reason why she no longer wants to be a princess anymore, she kind of just disappeared, vanished with a 13-month series weapon. She discovered that one of her sisters actually tried to ignite 2 of the 13-month series, which made her susceptible to becoming possessed by an evil spirit, who then possessed her and went on the rampage, killing pretty much Zahard princesses no matter where they went. She was just pretty much hunting princesses. And the spirit is said to be a once woman who actually loved Zahard, but Zahard didn't want to marry her. So somehow in some evil little scheme, he placed her spirit into the 13-month series where she gets to activate and come to life and possess one of the princesses if one of them activate 2 of the series, which I think is pretty wicked and sinister if you think about it, because this guy is saying, y'all never be good enough to marry me, and on top of that, I'm going to make sure y'all never good enough to marry me because I'm going to put an evil spirit inside these weapons, so when you activate them, she's going to come kill y'all because she wants to marry me, and she's dead, of course.
Gotcha, bitch!
So Zahard created this system all for the sole matter of keeping a balance and keeping the other family heads at ease. But then we have the other 2 family members who cease to exist, and that is said to be Baum's parents, V and his mother, who we don't know much about. The only thing we know about her is that she was beautiful. Why she was beautiful? Because she obviously caught the eye of Zahard, who don't really love he don't too much care for any woman they send at him. They could throw 100 women at him, and he's like, nah, I'm good. The one I wanted, she don't want me, which was V's wife. V and Baum's mother got together, and ultimately there was a big disagreement that went among the families, and it caused a divide. And they actually started a civil war against Zahard and his empire after it was formed, because they wanted to keep climbing the tower. Zahard refused to climb the tower. Something occurred. Something was learned that Zahard discovered a very important piece of information. that he basically did not want to tell anybody about what he discovered. But even if he did tell anybody what he discovered, there would have never been a civil war. So he didn't tell them what he discovered, but apparently Zahard knows that it's something that's going to happen if they complete the climbing of this tower. And what is that technically or officially? We don't know yet, because the story is pretty much getting off the ground and we're in the war arc right now currently. So what are Zahard's ability? His abilities are pretty much that of a very talented person. He's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. His specialty, he's a fisherman. However, he can play as a wave controller, a scout, and possibly a light bearer. We don't know. Spear bearer, definitely. As you can see, he uses the golden needle from Mystery Island. And not only does he use that needle, which is very powerful, but in a 𝚲𝚘𝚙𝚢𝚛 flashback, you see him summoning multiple golden needles from this Mystery Island, which I am kind of interested in to figure out how was he able to get his hands on such a high level power so early on. Like, if we think about it, Bomb has the Black March, but he was given the Black March. Was he given the golden needle? That's something to think about. And who would give him the golden needle? Did he take the golden needle? I doubt it. I think Zahard is an adventurer at heart. As you can tell when Bomb made it to the hidden floor and Zahard confronted them. And you can tell at some points he had this real fetish for the battle trance. He would go into the battle and you would see Zahard licking his lips, like thinking like, oh man, I love these times, placing bets. He loved doing stuff like that, and this is what we have today, which is Zahard's empire. A guy who built the empire and stands among some of the strongest people who ever walked into the tower, and he stands at the top and he rules with the iron fist. He's been able to gather all the information that he needs and dish it out to some of his high rankers who are subordinates. And currently Zahard ranks is number 3 in the tower. And I think Enru in 𝚲𝚙𝚢𝚛𝚒 is above him, which those two characters are pretty much mysteries. We don't know them. We don't know why they are or who they are. We don't even know. I know Enru is God's messenger, and he delivered a thorn that was given to him by the gods from the outside. Somehow, this thorn was given the bomb, and here we go, and we're rolling. The story is rolling. And there's much more to figure out, because we simply don't know how far Zahard is going to let Bomb climb this tower before he says, you know what, we're going to step in. I'm going to step in, and I'm going to put a stop to this because I no longer want this to happen. Okay, Zahard also uses a sword called 𝚲𝚙𝚎𝚙𝚢𝚛, which is also another very powerful sword-like needle. So powerful, in fact, that it has 3 forms that he can transform to, and he still carries it. As you can see, when he drops down into the hidden tower right before he's getting ready to choke Bomb out, you can see that that sword is still on his hip, which I cannot imagine the day comes when it's time for Bomb versus Zahard. I can only imagine what that sword is going to do at Zahard's current level. Because I think in Tower of God, weapons are placed, there's a big emphasis placed on weapons, but more so on the user. How can the user handle these weapons? So what happens when a user can completely control a weapon? Not only that, but amplify the weapon's power with their own. That's going to be an amazing battle to watch, and it's going to be pretty cool to see Zahard whip that thing out and go against Bomb, or whoever he may be fighting with. I don't think it'll be Bomb. But that's another video. That's another topic for another discussion. So guys, you tell me what you think. You tell me about the Zahard Empire, and you let me know what your views on his empire, and why has he been able to keep it up and running so long without anybody trying to backstab him? Is he just that entirely strong, Or, you know, does he have some diplomacy going on? I think it's a mixture of both. Also, guys, if you like videos like this where I'm like discussing Tower of God and theories and explaining certain characters, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe and click that bell for notifications so you can stay tuned for my next uploads. All right, until next time, peace out.